Pagarisa, we will get the ragam Hamsadhvani. So let's look at an illustration of the ragam Hamsadhvani. We now look at the ragam Hamsadhvani, which is another derivative of Shankarabharanam, but instead of the Daivatam as in Mohanam, it uses the Nishadam as its choice, and it's also an Audava raga, symmetric, 5 notes in each direction. It's exactly the same gamaka as in Mohanam, as in Shankarabharanam. So in this sense of both inheriting the base note as well as the base gamakas, it is a derivative of Shankarabharanam. Pa ni pa sa ni sa. So you saw the rule, sa ni stayed the same as in Shankarabharanam, but the starting point for the gamakam was from the prior note in the ragam, which was Panchamam and not Daivatam. Pa sa ni is different from da sa ni, okay, which would have been used in Shankarabharanam. Okay, pa sa ni ni sa ni sa ni pa ga gari sa. Now it is possible that you can have anuswarams or just small oscillations around the Rishabha area. Re, sa. It doesn't go as high as the next note, it just light touch a little bit higher. Sa, ga, re, sa. These are known as anuswarams because it doesn't go 2 shrutis above, but it goes 1 shruti above in the 22 shruti scheme. That's why it's called anuswaram. So let's do the canonical one again. Sa, re, ga, pa, ni, sa, ni, pa, ga, ri, sa, re, sa. And when you do it at higher speed, you just abbreviate these gamakams. Sa, ri, ga, pa, ni, sa, ga, ri, ga, pa, sa, ni, sa, ni, pa, ga, ri, sa, ri, ga, pa, ni, sa, ga, ri, ga, pa, sa, ni, sa, ri, pa, ga, ri, sa, ri, ga, pa, ni, sa, ni, pa, ga, ri, sa. See that even though the discrete piano approximates this, it only catches the endpoints, and the music contains more microtones than the endpoints. So what we saw was the ragam Hamsadhvani. Just to remind you, there are very famous songs in this ragam, such as Vathapi Ganapatim, Vathapi Ganapatim bhaje ham, Vathapi Ganapatim bhaje ham, Vathapi Ganapatim bhaje ham.
So songs like this are the classes for which are available on the Music Archive website, which you can find by going to Google and typing Carnatic Music Archive or Carnatic Music class. Anyway, we move on. If we used Sari Ma Pa Da Sa, we get the Ragam Shuddha Saveri. I don't have a piano illustration for this, so let me just sing it. Sari Ma Pa Da Sa Sa Dha Pa Ma Ri Sa. The Gamakam version is Sari Ma Pa Da Sa Sa Dha Pa Ma Ri Sa. There are very nice songs in this. Kalaharana Mela Rahare. So there you saw usage of the Anuswaram. Re re ga re ga re ga re sa 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 da da pa ma re sa. There you put the Sahityam. Kalaharana Mela Rahare Sita Ramana Kala Darini Telu Sukoti Tripura Sundarini. Dharini, Tripura Sundarini. Okay, these are all Sahityam aesthetics. But that was the Ragam Shuddha Saveri, which is a beautiful Ragam, just as the others. It's equivalent to the Ragam Durga in Hindustani. So these are Janya Ragams which are derived. So just because they are derived and have the similar Gamaka structure doesn't mean they have a form which is very unique to themselves. So the Mohanam form is very different from the form of Shankarabharanam. So you don't get a sub form out of Shankarabharanam because it has a completely different form, even though technically the one Ragam is derived from the other. So that's very important to understand the concept of a raga or a raga alapana. If you have a keyboard, try to play these keys, since you can get a feel for the identities of these ragams. For example, in Mohanam, jump from Ga to Pa, for that matter Da to Upper Sa, is quite characteristics. Besides Carnatic and Hindustani music, a lot of Oriental tunes are based on the Ragam Mohanam, and you see this used quite often in the Indian light music as well. Third, the 5-note scale such as Mohanam is called a pentatonic Ragam. The Indian equivalent name is called Audava Ragam, which was mentioned in the commentary on the practical commentary. Similarly, the 6-note Ragam is called the Shadva Raga, or sextonic scales in Western terminology. And the 7-note Ragam is called septatonic or Sampurna or full Raga. While the Ragam Mohanam is pentatonic with an implicit assumption that Arohanam, Avarohanam are reverses of each other, other asymmetric possibilities are allowed. A Ragam can have 5 notes on the way in Arohanam and 7 in the way down. For example, you can have a Ragam which is exactly Mohanam in terms of Arohanam, Sariga Padasa, but it's Kalyani in the way down. And it turns out that this Audava Sampurna Ragam is called Mohana Kalyani. Similarly, you can have other varieties such as Audava Sampurna, Sampurna Shadava, Shadva Ragas, etc. Melakarta Ragams are of course Sampurna, that is full and sequenced both in the Arohana and Avarohana. As we mentioned, the Avarohanam need not be the reverse of the Arohana. For example, you can have a Ragam that goes Sa, Ri 1, Ma 1, Dha 1, Ni 2, Sa, and Sa, Ni 2, Ni 1, Da 2, Pa, Ma 2, Ga 2, Sa, Avarohanam. Okay, these are all just a random choice. A lot of Ragams are however symmetric, and usually they offer a lot of scope. But the songs which are asymmetric also offer a lot of scope. And there are also other special types of Ragams called Bhashang Ragams, which we shall look at in a moment. Once you have chosen the keys, you are restricted only to play the keys. So the key point in a Ragam is that the scale bounds what the Ragam technically should be, and it also implies a certain form, and that is the form which people try to bring out when they're doing a concert. So